Hi guys, today is April 29th, 2020, and futures are sprinting higher because Gilead came out and said that their 10-day data is similar to 5-day data, and it's actually helping patients. So market is very much reacting to that, and futures are higher. But on a separate note, GDP came in at 4.8% down versus 3.5% down to be expected, and so that's not good news. But in general, people are very optimistic. And today we have a conclusion of the Fed meeting in the afternoon. So we're expecting to see with the interest rates to stay at pretty much 0%. So let's jump to corporate news. Let's start with BA. So Boeing reported some news, and they actually rose pre-market because they reported quarterly loss of 641 million, worse than expected, and revenue also worse than expected, but not as bad as feared by Wall Street. So shares are higher this morning, but I would be very careful with the stock because they have so many issues. It's unbelievable. Even though the shares are higher, but I would not be buying the stock today. Okay, so GE is the pretty much brother of Boeing because they're producing so many parts for Boeing, and they're lower this morning because they posted lower EPS, better revenue, but Larry Culp, their CEO, said on the conference call that the outbreak will materially challenge the results. So the shares are lower. That's actually pretty interesting to buy to me because the shares are so low and so suppressed that it could be an interesting buy, in my opinion. So GE could be a good buy. Google. Okay, Google is higher this morning because revenue beat, but earnings per share missed. The CEO gave assurances on its conference call that the worst of the COVID-19 impact on its business is over. So shares are sprinting higher. Actually, they showed a big YouTube revenue rise. I think 33 or 34% rise in revenue by YouTube. So pretty good earnings, but in general, Google is very expensive in my book, and I think I would be staying off Google. StarBucks. Okay, Starbucks reported, not so bad numbers, but they said that delivered actually a revenue beat, but EPS below forecast. Same-store sales decline, worse than expected. But it said that it prepares to reopen stores in the US next week and expects even tougher third quarter. So, Starbucks, in my mind, is very expensive. It's trading a pretty high multiple compared to other restaurant chains. And I wouldn't be touching Starbucks at these prices. ADP. Okay, automatic data processing. That's a payroll company and payroll processing company. They came in 3 cents above estimates. Revenue beat, lower its guidance, and stock is trading lower. And in general, it's not a bad buy in my opinion. In this area, like under $140 area, is not a bad buy in my opinion for ADP. Yum Brands. Okay, YUM. Okay, so that's a restaurant chain owner, and they own chains like Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, KFC, and others. They came in lower than expected results, and it's trading a little bit lower. I don't want to be in Yum Brands in this environment, even though it's reopening. But they came, they had a big run off the lows, and I don't know if I want to be in Yum Brands at this point. Of course, people are expecting a big burst in after we reopen. People will go to restaurants will buy things, but I'm cautious about that because that may not happen and may not happen as people expected. So I would hold off on buying Yum Brands. Mondelez. So Mondelez is a snack food producer, and they came in above estimates and withdrew their 2020 guidance, and that's a good stock to be in this environment because Mondelez is the company or stock. Is the producer that people will always stack the items, the food items. So that's a good stuff to be in my mind. Okay, Ford came in and said that they lost 23 cents, which was double what analysts were expecting. Revenue below warned that it will lose 5 billion, which is also double that analysts were expecting that it will lose. You know, I was watching a lot of YouTube channels and a lot of big YouTubers recommending Ford. I don't know. I mean, I think that Ford is a sell, in my opinion, because unfortunately, they are struggling big time, and they have a lot of debt. And out of auto manufacturers, I like only Tesla. Okay, not Ford, not GM, but Tesla. Okay, and Tesla is higher today, and but they're expected to report earnings, I think, today after hours, and if it drops for some reason after the earnings, I think it's a good opportunity to buy Tesla. Okay, IRBT. They came in lower than expected loss. Revenue beat. Said that the current environment will weigh on its sales. I mean, in general, I think iRobot is trading too high, in my opinion. It was trading at $61, but even at $57, $58, as it's trading pre-market, I think it's too high. I'd like this stock to come down to buy it. Okay, WW. Okay, so WW is it's a healthy snack producer. It's an Oprah company. They came in. They said they lost 4 cents versus 24 cents loss expected. Subs jump. Subscriptions jumped 9%. That's an interesting buy, in my opinion. WW, and if it opens higher and goes a little bit lower, maybe it's an opportunity to buy this stock. AMC said that it will no longer show movies by Universal Pictures, owned by Comcast, in response to Universal may release movies directly to digital platforms. Well, I mean, they're making it tough for themselves, I think, AMC. In my opinion, I think they're not in position to negotiate with Universal Pictures, but who knows? I wouldn't buy AMC. I think there are a lot of unknowns. I would rather be looking at their parent, or not a parent, but a company that leasing spaces to AMC, EPR Properties. Okay, I would look at that stock rather than AMC. So Uber said that they're cutting 20% of workforce. CTO is stepping down. In general, Uber is not a bad buy, in my opinion, but I'd like it to come down under $30 to buy this. FireEye. So FireEye reported, not so bad numbers, actually pretty good results, but weaker forecast, and announced layoffs. In general, I like in the space Checkpoint software, and in the cybersecurity space, and cyber. Okay, these two companies I would buy on any weakness, but FireEye I would leave alone. Okay, Innovia Pharmaceuticals. Innovia Pharmaceuticals had some news. They reported a strong antibody and T-cell immune response to their vaccine. So that stock is higher, but I'd like it to come down to buy Innovia a little bit, because it's trading in $14-15 range. It's a little bit too high for me to get in right now. PFE. Okay, Pfizer reported that they're expecting a vaccine to be ready by fall, actually. Expects clinical trials to start next week. So that's a pretty good company to buy. And yesterday they reported earnings. Stock fell, and that could be a good opportunity to get in right now. And their partner BNTX, it's a German company that they're collaborating with to develop this vaccine. In mid-40s, I think BNTX is a pretty good buy, in my opinion. AMD reported good earnings, decent actually, in line, but not spectacular. And stock is falling a little bit, but I think it falls in low 50s. I would be interested in AMD. Okay, another company, semiconductor company, LSCC. Okay, Lattice Semiconductor. They reported pretty good, strong results. Sees sales in range, but said that the decrease, that the disease may alter their results or affect their results. So that's an interesting company to be in right now. I mean, if it drops a little bit, LSCC could be a great buy. DXCM. Dexcom. Okay, so Dexcom is the biotech. Basically, they're producing devices. It's a device maker, medical device maker, producing devices to measure sugar for diabetes, and they reported very good results, beat top and bottom, but warned on the COVID-19 effects. But if this drops a little bit lower to 300, I would be buying this stock. Okay, ENVA. Innova International. Innova International is basically a financial company and reported better than expected results. It's higher this morning, and actually, if it drops after the open, that would be an interesting buy. So they're a lending company. ACA. Okay, so ACA. Arcosa is the provider of infrastructure and related products, and they reported pretty good results, top and bottom beat, and that would be a pretty good buy under $40 to me. ACA. Okay, that's it, guys. That's the wrap for today. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and I'll see you tomorrow.